right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rachakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom, Barakathum. And I did a lesson yesterday. I spoke a little bit about, or not yesterday, maybe that was this morning. Getting my days mixed up here, Shalakia. But about Jacob's trouble, okay? And Trump, basically came out of his own mouth, or basically openly admitted that he wants to put citizens stateside, okay, U.S. citizens over in prison over there in El Salvador. Now, that's not a regular prison, okay? They call it, or at least the media calls it a torture camp, They use the word, torture to describe that place, which I don't doubt, because Esau has a lot of places like that set up illegally, You think that this guy follows the laws that he passes? No, he does not, man. He makes the laws for the common everyday person. And y'all ignored all of this, y'all brushed by it, when he started speaking boldly, or had his czar that's supposed to be over the what do you call it, the raid roundups, the ICE raids, speaking very bold and proud things. And they didn't have any kind of language that declared whether or not they would, how would you know if they're a citizen or not a citizen? What if they got family here? They were like, well, no, we just getting them out of here. And everybody was so gung-ho and rah-rah because they scared you with all of those migrants crossing over the border, which you should be worried about those. That y'all not paying attention to this. And now he's openly saying that, yeah, if we got some of the worst criminals here, So you can see this language escalating, further and further. And then you can see people having a very inert reaction, meaning they just apathetic towards it. Like he just like he didn't say it, And that's part of the covering cast that's over this place, that the Lord is getting ready to break. All right, that there's a veil over this place that people, they just don't have it in them to riot. They just don't have it in them to cry out and do something about what their government is doing. And now that they don't even have to program you in television no more. I mean, after 2020, these people will basically they'll do whatever you tell them to. All right, they don't know up from down, left from right. And they're just trying to make ends meet instead of being pissed off, at the point to the point to where why is it this hard to make ends meet? You got people in third world countries, man, that work less hours. And yeah, they don't have a lot, but they work less hours. Meanwhile, you're in the greatest country in the world. You working 60 hours at your main job, still doing DoorDash, and then you still wondering if the rent gonna get paid, and nobody's crying out until it's too late. And so that's why I mentioned Jeremiah 30. It says, for alas, that day is great, and only Jacob's gonna be saved out of it. This is part of it, man. The scriptures say he's gonna put up a fierce king. And we believe that Donald Trump is that fierce king, and he's speaking boldly this way without any kind of false flags or anything, and people aren't saying anything. Now, what is he going to be able to do once a particular event occurs that scares people to a certain direction? There's basically nothing he won't be able to do. All right, and all of these people that you think are your friends, you're going to find out who your real friends are, all right, who your real enemies are. And that is basically, for you people out there in the world, that is nobody. Nobody's your friend. Nobody's your family. All right. This is why the Lord told us to forsake all of that, man. Don't worry about your family, your mother, or your brother. Because he understood that there would be so much division in the world. And then when you put a cataclysm on people, where all hell breaks loose, it's not going to matter anyway. Your own mother, your own father, your own brother, they will off you when the time comes, man. Okay. Y'all have never seen or been part of a famine. You've never seen war or violence. Most of you haven't even been part of a power outage for more than a day or so. Okay, so the real nature of people is gonna be introduced, and Trump is in a primary condition to do it and get away with it. You know, which we know he's not gonna get away with it, but he's in the position to, and there's no crying out, man. You know. Meanwhile, more signs are happening, man. We'll like to do a video later about, you know, the earthquake in San Diego, you know. But this guy is proud as hell, and, you know, only the elect men are talking about it. Even the men that are in Israel that claim to be, you know, doing the work, the ministry, all they can talk about is Israelite drama, trying to get on the next podcast, all right? Trying to garner support from their female audiences, man. All right, which if you're doing the work, you shouldn't be worried about an audience. Okay, you shouldn't be worried about YouTube analytics. All right, the scriptures say there's going to be so much death when this thing pops off that it's going to be cast out like dung, man. Y'all let that sink in, okay? Do y'all know how much racial tension is here? Y'all know how mad these low-level Edomites are because of their condition at their own, at the hands of their own people? All right, they really want to put hands on you, man. You know, a lot of Edomites are pissed off, man. They broke it in Jake, man. Without any salt to know how to make the best out of it. You know, Jake, when we poor, man, we figure some things out. You know, we can stretch things. Esau don't have that level of creativity. All right. So he's sitting down there poor. He's on more food stamps than Jake is now. All right. But he got guns though, you know. And he's got a burning hatred. The Lord put that hatred in him, man. And y'all are just thinking that shit is sweet, you know. It's not gonna end the way that you think it is, man. Okay. America's not just going through a dark time. America was always doomed to be destroyed, man. Okay. You could just see that from the behavior of it. But the Bible, most importantly, the Most High said they were going to be destroyed. Okay, there's a reason that they became the leader of the free world, because the Lord is giving an example of what not to do, and Trump is a complete embodiment of this pride. Okay, when you read Isaiah, it speaks about the pomp of the wicked being brought low. Okay, so we know that when the Lord comes back, the nation that's going to be ruling is going to be proud as hell, trying to do all kind of things. We're going to go to Mars. We're going to take this country. We're going to rename that body of water, that land. All right. We're gonna put a tax on everybody. We're going to call it Liberation Day. This is pride, man. Okay. So there's only one remedy for that. You know. So you got to get in the mindset that the Lord is getting ready to make a move. You got to already be a pilgrim in your mind, man, you know, and let go of these things, man, because any day the power could shut off. Okay, any day a state of emergency could be declared and you can't get around or get mobile. Okay, then what are you gonna do? What do you have? Okay, you know, so I foresee Trump testing the waters with this statement about El Salvador being a prison where they can send American citizens, because the way the wicked work, they'll say things to see to get your reaction, okay? Or they'll tell you what they're doing before they do it, basically. All right, they basically get you to consent. That's how Satan works. And so when Trump's saying that, nobody's saying nothing. All right, it made a couple headlines, but there's no outcry. It's no outcry like there would be if the grocery stores were closed. All right, then you have to bring in the National Guard, because these people are addicted to food and pleasure. Cut off the internet or the food supply, and Americans are through. All right. So he's testing the water to see what he can get away with, because, you know, really this guy already has a bunch of prisons set up, man. You know, he's not gonna tell you that they are. You know, but he's got plans. He's scoped out a lot of these, every city in America, to round up a very large number of people. Okay, and if you think that's beyond America, you know, then you're out of your mind. I mean, they top the charts for some of the worst atrocities that have ever been committed. Okay, so you're deceiving yourself if you think that this shit is gonna go back to normal. It's not. Okay, the prices are not going back down. You're gonna have to sign up for the new system. All right, just like he got Real ID coming out next month. You're gonna have to sign up for all of that. All right, and there's gonna come a point where there's gonna be a line in the sand that's drawn, where we have to stand with Yahushua, you know. So, you know, hopefully we get more developments on this, and we'll see how it goes, man. Anyway, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. Call hello Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Hashem Rachak Shalom. Kom Yashro.